All right. So our rain stick from yesterday should be even more leather hard. Should be pretty stiff. It's holding its shape very well. I'm not denting it as I hold it. It's not collapsing on itself. It feels good, right? And yesterday we attached it with a seam and then squared off the edges so that if we were to stand it up, it would stand straight up and not lean. Okay? So now I have some spare clay, some extra clay. I'm going to wedge it just to make sure it's all good. By compressing it, I get rid of air bubbles and make it homogeneous in terms of its plasticity. We don't want spots in our clay that are drier than others, so by mixing it, we make it more uniform. Okay, so I've got my ball of clay. You kind of flatten it out a little bit on my canvas board. And now I'm going to use one of the rolling pins to make a slab rather than the slab roller. So we're just doing a tiny slab at this point. Just like you would with cookie dough, right? Making cookies. You're going to make a slab. You can pick it up, flip it over. And you want, again, uniformity. And you can actually see I have an air bubble right there. You can see it move. So I'm not going to use that part of this because an air bubble will mean an explosion in the kiln. Okay? And I'm going to get it the thickness of, again, about my pinky, which is about what the thickness of my slab here was. I want it to be the same. I don't want parts to be thinner, parts to be thicker, right? And today we're just making one end cap because we still have to add our beads. Okay? So that's my air bubble. I'm going to avoid that. I didn't wedge long enough for the demo. Okay? So then I need a circle cut out of this slab, right? To make my cylinder. Now see, okay? That's going to go there. Okay? So I'll use, again, you can use a knife tool, a credit card that we have, or one of these, and you're just going to cut down and around like you would if you were making cookies, cutting out a free-form cookie shape. Kind of indented it there. See it? We're going to attach all this, so if it's not the prettiest, mine's not looking so pretty right now, that's okay. Right, so I've got a circle that now matches the shape. Not a perfect circle, because we're working with organic materials here. And then I would, again, never throw away clay. I could ball this up, add it back to the community clay pile, or bag it up and save it, because I am going to need another end cap later, right? Let me get a fork and split. Got that. Okay, and just like we did yesterday, we have to scratch before we attach anything. So let's make those edges roughed up. And because this is all the way going to be all the way down at the end of the tube, I'm not going to be able to go in and smooth from the inside. I'm not going to be able to reach in there that far. So I need to make sure it's really glued and do a good job on this step on the inside. If it were a smaller vessel, I would even add a reinforcement coil. But again, we won't be able to reach down in there to do that. So plenty of slip glue, lots of scoring to create that rough surface. Good. And then again, I'm going to do the same on this side, because I won't be able to get in there to add any other. So anywhere it's going to touch, I'm roughing it up. Okay, and now I've got this little thing that should fit just about right on there. Squish it together, compress it. You can even gently compress it on the thing there. All right, and now, just like you did when you connected, we're going to blend that in and then retexture as needed. So that seam will disappear. And smooth it out however you want. There we go. That's a quick demo for it. If I were really doing this, I would spend a little more time making it even, making it smooth. Okay, once you've got it how you want it, we're going to go ahead and do this step now so we don't forget. Because what happens if I put an end cap here and an end cap here? What have I got trapped inside? Big bunch of air. This becomes one big air bubble, right? And that would explode. Oh, maybe I don't have my needle tool. Anyway, we will take a needle tool or something like this, and you're going to create a small hole in there. And you're going to leave that hole there. That way the air can escape and your whole thing doesn't explode. If you make a closed form, it would explode. So I just have a hole there. It could be as thin as a needle. If I can find my needle tool somewhere, that would work too. If that pops out, you can hopefully get it out at the bottom there. Okay, so that's making the end cap. When we're at the very end, we'll do another end cap on this other side. But until then, we have to make our T's. Okay, so when you look at my Rainstick, right, you see these little pegs that go throughout. And that's what makes it hit the noise. As it falls down, it hits the little sticks that are sticking out. If you were to take a cross-section view of this and look down, you'd see all these little sticks sticking out all the way down like a spiral staircase. So we're going to make those little pegs today too with this leftover clay so that when we come back we can add them in. We'll cut holes and add them in. Okay? So to make those, because we want them to be stiff and hold their shapes too, that's why we're going to make them a day ahead of time. You're going to make it in the shape of a golf tee. Okay? So I kind of tap it and that gives me the like circle shape that you can see on mine. And then the rest, you roll it out and you kind of have this T shape, right? Not too thick, just enough that it hits out. And then you want it to be long enough that it goes in but doesn't touch to the other side. Can y'all see that? Right? So when I stick this in, it won't go all the way across, but it'll go most of the way. So you don't want it as big as your whole diameter of your tube. You want it almost as big. Can you see it? You see it? Okay. Yeah. Right? So we want it like that. See how there's a gap there? It doesn't go all the way. So we'll worry about the holes another day. But today I want you to make all these T's so that they're ready for you. You're still going to keep them wrapped in plastic. So we want them leather hard, not bone dry. You're going to make them and prep them so you have them ready. Okay, so like a golf tee shape. You know what a golf tee is? Hopefully. And I would say make 20 of them. Maybe make 25. We can always reuse them, okay? And those are going to be wrapped around your thing. What questions do you have? You had good questions yesterday. Your little golf tee. Oh, see, now I've made it too big. You make it too big, take the tip off. Now it'll fit again. Yes. Okay, bring them here. Perfect timing. So I asked the golf coach for some golf tees so that you can see them. Put them right there. All right, so this is what we want. That's our shape that we want. Okay, and we might even use these to make our holes in, and then you'll stick this in. That'll be another day. All right, but this is the shape you want. You don't want it to just be flat. You need this little head on it so that it doesn't go all the way through. That keeps it from going all the way through. Okay. Anything else? Yeah, question.
Will we have to score it?
When you attach them, yeah. So you'll do a little bit of scoring in the inner part of the hole. And I'll work on how we attach them later. But yeah. 20 or so T's, not bigger than your diameter. Any other questions? Okay, I'm going to stop the video.